My name is Joey Jordison from the band VIMIC, also in the band Sinsatum, previously with Slipknot, and also guested in bands like Korn, Rob Zombie, Ministry, among others. And I'm here to give you a rundown of what I'm playing right now on the current VIMIC tour. So I just got done with sound check, so I'm a little sweaty, excuse me. But here's where we'll start right here. Right now I'm using 18 by 22 kicks right here, and I'm using a demon drive pedal right here. I'm using a double kick pedal right now, just to keep the sound equal until I get it back out on the road, and I'll probably switch back over to this. But it doesn't matter, so if the double kicks are happening, they happen. So right now I'm using a 7 1/4 by a 14 snare. And I got a 7 by 8, 8 by 10, a 9 by 12, 11 by 13. I'm using 16 by 16, 18 by 18. And I have my octagons over here, which I only use usually either in drum solos or sometimes for effect or a pop, depending on what's going on with the end of like a chorus or like a verse or something. Sometimes I'll throw that stuff in there. And I have my 20-inch gong drum, which is really good for effect with like a lot of the riffs that VIMIC has, and like the low end and stuff like that, and it really just crushes. My drum tech Norm has this stuff like completely laid out perfect, and like the tones are great, and all the guys at Pearl and everything have treated me really well. I started using them with Slipknot on actually the All Hope Is Gone tour, and I used them because of the drum solo I was doing. But I actually like to keep them here because like certain areas that I lead into like a chorus or a verse or something like that, sometimes I'll use them in the midst of like a fill or something to make something like an accent pop, but it has to be on like the accent of like a guitar riff or something like that. That's what I have them here for. And yeah, they're a great accessory, man. I really like using them. I don't use them too much, but when you do, you definitely hear it, and it makes all the difference. I've been with Pearl now, endorsed since 2004. And the thing is, with Pearl, and why I'm so glad to be a part of the Pearl family, is my first drum kit that I ever wanted, and my dad actually made me work for, was a Pearl export kit. And I worked all summer pouring concrete, and I was 14 years old. Like my whole summer vacation was spent just shoveling concrete with all these big burly dudes, and they're like, get in there and pour that, pull that shit and all that stuff. I'm like, but my dad made me work for it, which is really cool, which made me really appreciate the meaning of hard work and everything. So I bought my first Pearl kit, which is a Pearl Export, which is a 9-piece. And luckily enough, man, through all the hard work and stuff that I've done throughout my career, I've been able to be endorsed by, in my opinion, the best drum company there is, and they've treated me so well. So it's been really cool, man. It's been a great ride. The thing is, sometimes I change heads differently. It depends on the type of band, the type of tuning that the band is in, like key-wise. And this is what a lot of people don't understand is you can use, I used to use a lot of pinstripes. I used to use coated, but it depends on the key that the band is in, and also the action or what you're trying to do as far as what type of fills you're playing or what the style of music you are playing. But I've been sticking with this pretty much all. I've just been using it's a clear Emperor on the top and an Ambassador on the bottom, pretty much all the way through. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. I'm using a control sound on the snare with the dot on the bottom right here. And other than that, we're just using control sound 2 down here on the kick. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it right there. I've been endorsed by Peisty for a while now, and man, they treated me really well. So right now I'm using a 14 over here. I'm just going to talk hi-hats first. So I have a 14 over here, like a sound dish. I use all signatures, and I have a 13 over here for writing on certain parts. And you can see right here that I have a 22 ride, and I love this ride because the bell on it is amazing. And it rings out doing certain accents with stuff like that. It really rings out. Right here, as you can see, I have a 17. Here is my splash section. I've been using this configuration for a while, excuse me there. And so I have right here a 6, and I have an 8 and a 10. Here, right now, I'm using the 18, and here I have a 19. Like I said, this is a 13. And on my right, I'm using a 22 because I like the bell. Then I have these 2 Chinas that I go back and forth between. Also over here I have another 18 that I'm using. I like these on both sides because they cut, you know, really big instead of like sometimes like if I use like a 22, especially with this low type of music like this, it can get washy. So like, you know, since we're tuned so low, I like the higher cut in the chinas and everything. So that's why I'm using like a little bit smaller dimensions. And plus they cut through anything. So that's why I'm using those right now. Yeah, I'm just using like the regular like pearl right here. You can see right here, the Roadster. And I like it because it has a back to it. I usually don't use a back because like, you know, I just like to, I like using the back because it gives me more balance. I didn't used to use them, but like now I like it because I can lean back on like certain sections. It gives me a little bit more like push and like heaviness to certain parts and all that stuff. But I've been using this for a while now. And it's cool because like, you know, it has the pack right on there, and nor my tech can just like throw the ears like right in, it just sits right there and you control the sound. Sometimes there's certain songs that I won't even have like my in-ears in, and like certain times that I do. I differentiate between like a lot. Right now I'm using the 777s, and I also use my signature Bloodline sticks. But since, you know, of course, you know, I'm not playing with Slipknot anymore, not really using them. But I've been using the 777s probably since let's say probably, like very early 90s, like 91, since I've been playing those. So yeah, they're a great stick, and they just feel right. I play the 747s too every once in a while, but I stick with the 777s pretty much all the time. The best thing about Pearl racks, and what I like, you know, not only about the company but about the rack system, this Icon rack system, and the rack systems they have, you know, like previous, I like that it's square because it gives, you know, once you get it locked in, there's no leeway for things to slip. That's why I like when it's locked in and you got everything tightened and everything's, you know, correct, and you got everything lined up. Nothing's gonna drift. You know what I mean? Like sometimes things can slip. There can get condensation on it. People can sweat on it. People can do whatever. And sometimes you can get a slip. So like that's why I like about having like, you know, the Icon. It's just, you know, it's square and it's like steady and everything like stays in place. Like nothing moves. Hey, this is Joey Jordison. Please check out VIMIC.com. Hope to see you on the road soon. Thank you.